Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Surya Raut and today we are going to discuss on the questions which are asked on ISAT practice test series 2, and these are the questions for biology for class 9. So let us look at the question number 1 or question number 15 here. Amoeba shape is irregular due to what? Okay, so there are 4 choices given here, and the question that has been asked here, why the shape of amoeba is irregular. Let's look at the options here. Lack of cell membrane, no, it cannot be correct because amoeba, the outer layer of amoeba is cell membrane or plasma membrane. Lack of defined nucleus, they have a defined nucleus because it is an eukaryotic cell, this is not a prokaryotic cell, and the nucleus doesn't have to do anything with the irregularity of the cell structure. Lack of cell wall and lack of vacuole. Okay, they have vacuole, okay, they have contractile vacuole, so this option is also incorrect. Lack of cell wall, yes, so amoeba doesn't have a cell wall, and cell wall is not a flexible structure like plasma membrane. So as you can see here, the yellow color structure over here is the plasma membrane. Okay, so this one is the plasma membrane, and plasma membrane is flexible as the structure is made up of lipids and proteins, so it's a flexible structure, unlike the structure of cell wall which is rigid and firm. So if an organism has an external structure which is a cell wall, that organism cannot change its shape, okay, because it's a rigid structure. Whereas any organism having an external structure which is made up of cell membrane, which is made up of lipids and proteins, which is a flexible structure, therefore it can change its shape. Okay, so lack of cell wall gives amoeba an irregular shape. So the option B is going to be the correct choice for this question. Let's move to the next option, next question. Living cell was discovered by whom? We all know that the first cellular structure was discovered by Robert Hooke. So by default you can answer that question as the correct option, okay, but it has asked specifically living cell was discovered by whom. Robert Hooke, as you can see here, so this is the cellular structure he has seen for the first time from a piece of cork. Okay, so cork is nothing but a dead cell because it is the outer portion of the plant which is actually the bark, okay, and bark is a dead tissue. So what Robert Hooke actually has seen is not a living cell, it is actually a dead cell, and what you can see here, the compartments, okay, what he referred to as cells, these compartments are just the cell wall. These compartments are just a cell wall, so these are the cell wall of the cell. So he has not visualized the living cell for the first time. It was actually Anton von Leeuwenhoek, okay, so this is the name of the scientist, okay, who visualized living cells for the first time. Okay, he collected samples from different sources of water and he developed a microscope by himself, and he was observing those water samples under the microscope. Okay, and for the first time he had seen those unicellular organisms which he initially referred to as animalcules. He did not told that these are unicellular organisms, he said that animalcules means small animals. And later on these small animals were found to be nothing but unicellular organisms, including protozoas, bacteria, and all those organisms. Okay, so living cell was discovered for the first time by Anton von Leeuwenhoek. Okay, let's go to the next question. Which of these organisms is acellular? So acellular means they do not have any cell based structure. Very simple and straightforward question here. So bacteria, they have a cell based structure, so they are called as prokaryotic cells. They do not have any defined nucleus like eukaryotes. We have a defined nucleus where our nuclear material is enclosed within the nuclear membrane. In bacteria there is no nuclear membrane. Okay, so they are called as prokaryotic cells, but still they are cell based organisms. Viruses, as you can see a picture of virus here, they do not have a cell-based structure. Okay, cell-based structure means they do not have cytoplasm, they do not have cell organelles, so they do not have any cellular structure at all. Okay, so what they have is a nucleic acid which is present at the core, at the center. The nucleic acid can be either DNA or RNA, and they are surrounded by a protein coat. Okay, they are surrounded by a protein coat. So this is essentially the structure of a virus. So this is the acellular organism. Protozoa are the living organisms, like amoeba belongs to this particular group, protozoa. So this cannot be also be the option. Okay, paramecium is also an unicellular organism. Okay, so this is a cell-based organism too. Okay, so virus is going to be the answer for this one. So let's look at the next option. Photosynthetic pigments are present in, okay, photosynthetic pigments are present in, the options are in all bacteria, in fungi, in some protozoa, all of the above. First of all, we can negate this one, fungi, because fungi are heterotrophic organisms. They are placed in a separate kingdom altogether because they cannot produce their own food. They do not have any chlorophyll bearing organelles. So therefore they cannot make their own food. So they are heterotrophic organisms. So fungi is cancelled out. In all bacteria, not all bacteria are photosynthetic. There are some bacteria which are photosynthetic bacteria, like the cyanobacteria or the blue-green algae. So they can only prepare their food. But here it is giving a choice that it's all bacteria. If the choice would have been given that only bacteria, then it could have been correct. But it is saying in all bacteria. All bacteria are not photosynthetic. So therefore this option is also wrong. In some protozoa, yes, some protozoa contains chlorophyll pigments. Okay, in symbiotic association with other organisms like this one here, so there it can make food. Okay, they can make their own food. Okay, so photosynthetic pigments could be present in some protozoa. So all of the above is not going to be the correct answer because these two are not correct, are incorrect. So the option is going to be B. So let's move to the next question here. DNA in bacteria is circular and naked, linear and naked, circular present with histone, linear and present with histone. First of all, prokaryotic cells, the characteristic feature of the bacterial cells or the prokaryotic cells is that they have a circular chromosome. So circular chromosome is a key feature of them. Okay, and also one of the another interesting feature of the prokaryotic cell is that they are not associated with histone proteins. As we know that chromosomes are associated with histone proteins so that they can be coiled tightly, making their structure smaller. Okay, the DNA structure, because the DNA is a very long molecule, and to fit inside a small cell, the DNA has to be coiled. Okay, and it gets coiled with the help of a protein called as histone protein, right? Histone protein. And any DNA which is associated with histone protein is not called as a naked protein DNA, okay, because it is associated with something. Whereas the prokaryotic DNA is not associated with histone protein. So that is why it is called as naked. So it is naked and it is not associated with histone, and it is circular. Okay, so the option for that going to be therefore option A, circular and naked. Okay, so let's look at the next question. Which of the below organism has the smallest cell? Bacteria, amoeba, virus and fungi. Okay, so out of all of these organisms, bacteria is not a cell based structure, it is a acellular organism. But the question here it is asked here, which has the smallest cell. So this virus doesn't have a cell, so no cell. So this doesn't have cell. So this option is therefore incorrect. Bacteria, yes, the size of bacteria is around 2 to 5 micron. So this is a smaller cell. Amoeba is slightly bigger than bacteria. Fungi are multicellular organisms. They are much bigger than the bacteria and amoeba. Okay, so the correct option therefore is going to be bacteria. Okay, so let's look at the last question. Cell membrane is present. Cell membrane is present in plants, bacteria, protozoa, all of the above. Yes, it is present in the plants. In addition to the cell wall, plants also contain cell membrane. In bacteria, they contains both cell wall as well as cell membrane. Protozoa like amoeba, they also have cell membrane, but they do not have cell wall. So this is also correct. So the option for this one is going to be the option D. Okay, thank you very much.